Hey everybody, how the heck you doing this fine day? Steve Dotto here, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. We're just getting everything settled in so that I'm making sure that all of my feeds are going through in the right place at the right time. And I see here, I'm checking out Dem. There it is. That looks good there. And oops, there we go. And I'm just going to check out keep an eye on my YouTube and Facebook live feed. Hey, everybody, I'm so excited to welcome to Webinar Wednesday. Each week here at Dottotech, we host a live tutorial webinar on a different topic. And this week, oh my goodness, it's going to be so good. We're going to be talking about research tools that will blow your mind. I realize I was a little clickbaity in saying that will blow your mind. I'm hoping at least you'll be mildly impressed at the very least. But perhaps some of them will blow your mind. Now, we've got a bit of a change in our normal setup today. Instead of April is just going to monitor things in chat, and instead of April, we have Liz Azian on with us. How you doing, Liz?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing just fantastic. Now, why did we have to have you on today?
Because I'm the geek of the team.
You just love your research tools, do you not?
I love it. Yeah, I used to be a grad student, so I'm really into my research stuff.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
let me see.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Who's excited about research today?
Okay, exactly. I'm just, for some reason, I don't seem to see the feed going out to YouTube, and I just want to make sure that it is, but I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. If it doesn't make it, the most important people are the ones that are here in the webinar room. So, at any rate, let's jump into things. So, just to give you guys an idea of what we're planning today, this is a typical Webinar Wednesday here at Dottotech. Each week, we, as I say, we deliver a tutorial webinar of this sort. So I have pre-recorded the demo as we're going to go through a variety of different research tools that cover that. The research tools aren't ones that we typically see marketed a lot, and you kind of have to be part of the community in order to really see the best ones. So we will be sharing with you, we'll be sharing that with you in a pre-recorded video, which we will play back in just a few seconds. But before I do that, I just got to do a few thank yous, a few special thank yous. First of all, a shout out to all of our patrons. I know many of you here are patrons. Dottotech is a community-funded channel, and we're supported through the generosity of our community at Patreon. If you drop by patreon.com/Dottotech, you can see exactly what's involved. We give perks away in exchange for the support. Most people support us because they love this content, this tutorial content that we deliver every week free of charge. But our patrons get access to all of our Webinar Wednesday replays, of which there's 170. This is Webinar Wednesday 174, I think, 175.
75, yeah.
There's 175 of these tutorial webinars in our archives, which our patrons have access to. So thank you so much. If you're just joining us for the first time, you can view this webinar live for the next week, and then we archive it as I say, for the use of our patrons. So a big shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. And also a shout out to our friends at Restream. We are multicasting right now, both in the webinar package, but we're also sending this through to Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and we're able to leverage our content and send it out onto different social platforms because of the technology that's provided to us by Restream. So we're actually multicasting to you. Now, those of you who are on Facebook, those of you who are on YouTube Live watching us, you're able to watch the entire webinar and all of the content, but you'll miss some of the chat that goes on inside of Demio, inside of our webinar package, and you won't be able to ask me questions in chat because we're not monitoring the chat there. All of the questions will come within Demio. So if you're interested in joining us in Demio, we'll drop the link, but you can just go to www.dott.to/ww, and that will bring you straight in. That will allow you to register for the webinar. And then once you've registered, you will get access to our notes that we send out after the webinar, because as good as the webinar is, we do so much research on each of these topics that we have a whole bunch of extra supporting notes that we will send to you as well. So that means that you will get access to the notes as well. So that's pretty much it. That's it for all of the stuff. Now it's kind of cool. It's working pretty well right now. I'm going to knock on wood here, but we are actually doing. Last week we tried this and I messed up. For those of you who are a little bit into webinars and geekdom, we are actually streaming this from Ecamm Live. And Liz and I are in Ecamm Live, and we're using the virtual camera feature in Ecamm Live to send the audio and video feed through to Demio, which is where you're watching it. And then we're also using Ecamm Live to multicast it through Restream, to the web, so people are getting it out online. So it's very cool, I think, as far as all the technology, and it's all working. Last week I messed up, and it was just a Bluetooth headset thing. It was where the audio was coming to me. It was working for everybody else, but I didn't know it. So that was a bit of fun that we had last week. But
It was an adventure.
It has been an adventure. But our topic today is not how Steve does it. Oh, April says it's not streaming to Facebook or YouTube. Okay, well, we'll just have to let that be. I'll play with it once we're streaming through. Let's talk a little bit about research tools, though, Liz, because this is something that I always thought, research was learning how to search on Google. And that is a good place to start, but it's just so not really efficient compared to these tools that we're going to be sharing today.
Absolutely. I think if you just use Google as your research tool, then this will blow your mind. I mean, it blew my mind when when I discovered them. So I hope that everyone will kind of learn something new today, and then they'll be able to probably cut their research time in at least half. I mean, it cut my research time by 80%, I would say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And the thing is that you're always trying and you're always looking at different options, different tools. So just as I start to use one tool, you come to me with another tool, which is kind of, I find a little bit humorous and to be perfectly honest, a little bit frustrating at times. But so I wrote.
I need AA for tools, right?
Yeah. I think you might need some support in those areas. So here's I think we should just dive in and start taking a look at all the tools. We will have. Don't worry about writing down all of the URLs from what we're going to be covering. We will be sending out all of the URLs to you afterwards. While the video is playing, Liz and I will be in chat here answering as many of our questions as we can for you, and we will see you guys all on the other side of today's video, which is on research tools that will blow your mind. Putting this particular webinar together was a lot of fun because there are so many tools out there that can help us as far as doing research. I mean, long gone are the days that you have to head down to the library in order to look something up and to do research on anything that you work on. And a lot of us think research is just simply typing a search into Google and then following the thread as we go through. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when we think back to where we were 20 years ago to what we can do today just using Google, of course, we're talking about just light years of difference. But there are a series of tools available to you that if you learn and if you discover the intricacies and you master them, they will make a huge difference in the quality of information that you glean from your research, and they will set you up for success. Now, I know that when I prepare a video, when I'm doing one of our videos, that I do my own research, and when I do research, I do a fairly good job of getting it ready. But when a team member, when we have a proper content brief done that's using proper search tools and they go out there and they make sure that they know exactly what's happening with the keywords and what people are looking for, etc., that without fail, the video is of higher quality. It's going to rank better in search. It's going to have more views. It's going to have more retention. And to be perfectly honest, from my perspective, putting it together and actually recording the content is so much easier working from a firm footing. So today we're going to look at 3 different areas of research, and we're going to show you a variety of different tools just to kind of open your mind to some of the things that can be done. We're going to talk a lot about content research, about researching the content that you're going to be including in a blog post, if you're writing a book, if you're doing a video, the content tools that we use to help us as far as preparing content. Then market research, knowing what's happening in your marketplace, in your industry, helping you make business decisions and that sort of stuff. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the specifics of SEO research. Research that you can do on keywords that are really going to help you as far as ranking your content. Now, I could not do this 100% on my own because there are so many tools. And to be honest, Liz uses a lot more tools